Aries. Listen closely. If you're hearing this on New Year's Eve, this is not random. This is not just another message drifting through the noise. Something is opening. Right now. Quietly. While the world is counting down, a door you didn't expect is unlocking for you. You may have felt restless, frustrated, like everything you pushed for this year hit resistance instead of reward. But hear this truth. Just because things felt like they were falling apart doesn't mean you were failing. Sometimes, that's the moment before everything shifts. Aries, slow your fire for just a breath, not to stop you, but so you don't miss what's standing in front of you. If this is touching something in your chest right now, leave a comment, say what you're feeling, and trust yourself enough to stay, because what comes next isn't small. And this door won't stay open forever. Aries, stay with me for a moment. I'm not speaking to a crowd right now. I'm speaking to you, the one who somehow ended up here, right at the edge of the year. There's a certain quiet that exists only on New Year's Eve. Not the noise outside, but the stillness underneath it. That pause where time feels thinner, where the old year loosens its grip, and the next one hasn't fully arrived yet. That's where you are, and no, it's not an accident. If this message found you in this space, it's because something is shifting in your life, even if you don't have words for it yet. I want you to picture this. Not fireworks, not celebration, a door, plain, unmarked, standing in a place you've walked past many times before. It hasn't been locked forever. It's been waiting. And right now, it's opening. Quietly. Not with force, not with drama. Just enough for you to notice if you slow down long enough to feel it. I know that's not easy for you. You're Aries. You move fast. You act on instinct. You push forward when others hesitate. That fire has carried you far. But lately, it may have felt like every step forward came with resistance, like effort without reward, motion without arrival. You may have asked yourself, why am I trying so hard, yet everything still feels unsettled? Here's the truth I need you to hear. Just because things feel unstable does not mean you are off path. Sometimes the ground has to shift, so you stop standing where you've outgrown. This moment isn't asking you to rush. It's asking you to recognize, to feel the difference between movement and alignment. Because this door opening now is not about escape. It's about timing. It's about the version of you that survived the year, learned the hard lessons, and is finally standing in the right place to choose differently. You don't need to know what's on the other side yet. You don't need a full plan. You don't need permission from anyone else. You only need awareness. That subtle pull in your chest. That quiet knowing that something important is unfolding without needing to announce itself. If your body feels calmer just listening to this, that's not coincidence. That's recognition. And I want you to trust that. Not blindly, but gently. Like trusting your breath when you don't think about it. Take this moment with you. Let it settle. Let it breathe. Because as the year turns, as the noise rises again, there's something deeper beginning to move. And not every door reveals itself all at once. Some open only when the world goes quiet enough for you to hear the hinge. And if you stay right here with me, you'll feel what that opening is leading you toward. All right, stay with me. Let's go a little deeper now. Not louder. Deeper. Because what you've been walking through, Aries, was not random chaos. It only looked that way from the surface. I want you to think back over the past months. Not the highlights, not the moments you post about, but the quiet losses. The things that slipped away when you thought you were finally doing everything right. There was a point where you felt disoriented, like your internal compass spun without warning. One day you were sure of your direction, and the next, the road underneath you felt unfamiliar. Money may have tightened. Work may have shifted or disappeared. A relationship may have cracked right where you thought it was strongest, and the thought that kept repeating was simple, heavy, uncomfortable. I did the work. So why did I lose this? Aries, listen to me carefully now. This was not punishment. This was not a mistake. And it was never a sign that you were weak. What fell apart could no longer hold the version of you that was emerging. You were operating inside a structure that once fit you. It protected you. It gave you identity. But you outgrew it quietly. And by the time you noticed, the walls were already too small. So the universe did what it always does when growth becomes unavoidable. It shook the foundation. Not to destroy you, but to free you. Because if it had stayed comfortable, you would have stayed contained. And Aries, you were never meant to live contained. I know the collapse hurt. I know it felt sudden, unfair, like the ground moved without warning. But look at the timing. Right at the edge of the year. Right when cycles naturally end. Right when old agreements expire, whether we are ready or not. That is not coincidence. That is alignment doing its uncomfortable work. Here's something most people never realize. When things fall apart for Aries, it's not because you failed to fight hard enough. It's because you fought hard for something that had already served its purpose. Your strength didn't disappear. It was simply no longer meant to be spent there. So if your life feels unstable right now, if pieces are still settling, that doesn't mean you are lost. It means you are mid-transition. And there is a difference. This moment is asking you to release the belief that stability only comes from holding things together. Sometimes true stability comes from standing in your own power without leaning on structures that no longer recognize you. Take a breath here. Let that land. Because what's happening beneath the surface is not collapse. It's repositioning. And when the ground shifts like this, it's not to make you smaller. It's to lift you to a vantage point you couldn't reach before. You're not meant to rebuild the same life. You're meant to rise into a different one. And as the dust continues to settle, you may start to notice something subtle. A sense that you are no longer waiting for permission. A feeling that something unseen is quietly clearing the path ahead. That's not imagination. That's the moment when the shaking stops. And something else steps in. And right there, without any announcement at all, a new kind of door begins to stand open. All right, Aries, let me stay right here with you. Because after everything that shook loose, after the dust began to settle, there's a quieter realization that starts to surface. You are not waiting anymore. Not in the way you used to. There was a time when you looked outward for confirmation, for a sign, for someone to say, yes, now you can move, now you can begin, now you are allowed. That time is over. What's happening now doesn't arrive with applause. It arrives as a calm knowing, a steady signal inside your chest that says you do not need approval to take the next step. Aries, permission has already been given, not by people, not by circumstances, but by something deeper that understands your path better than fear ever could. You may notice it in small ways first. A conversation that opens a door you thought was closed. An unexpected offer that feels almost too simple to matter. A moment of help that shows up right when you thought you had to do everything alone again. Pay attention to those moments. They are not interruptions. They are invitations. And I want you to hear this clearly. Not everything that changes your life arrives fully formed. Some opportunities arrive quietly, unassuming, almost easy to overlook if you are only watching for fireworks. This is where discernment matters. Your instinct might be to wait for something bigger, something louder, something that matches the scale of what you survived. But sometimes, the universe tests readiness not with grand gestures, but with simple openings that ask, are you willing to receive? You do not need to prove yourself anymore. You do not need to struggle to earn what aligns with you. What is meant for you now moves toward you without resistance. That does not mean it will look the way you imagined. It means it will meet you where you are prepared. Aries, this is a different kind of power. Not the force that pushes, but the confidence that recognizes when to step forward. You may feel a subtle shift in how you respond to the world. Less urgency, more clarity, a sense that you are being supported even when you cannot see the full picture yet. That is not weakness. That is alignment. Allow help when it appears. Not because you need saving, but because growth does not require isolation. You are still strong, still capable, still leading your own life. You are simply no longer doing it from survival mode, and that changes everything. As this permission settles into your body, you might feel something else soften too. The constant tension, the feeling that you must rush or miss your moment. You are not late, you are right on time. What's opening now is responding to who you have become, not who you used to be. So take this in slowly. Let it breathe, because this door was never meant to test you. It was meant to meet you. And as you step closer, as you begin to feel the stability underneath your feet again, you may notice something unexpected waiting on the other side. Not pressure, not chaos, but space. The kind of space that allows you to build without burning yourself out. And that is where the next layer of this journey quietly begins to take shape. All right, stay close with me. Because once permission settles in your body, once that quiet yes becomes real, something else begins to change in a very human way. Your nervous system exhales, not all at once, not dramatically, but enough for you to notice that you are no longer bracing for impact every morning. Aries, I want to speak honestly with you here. Not idealistically, not spiritually bypassing real life. You have been living in tension for longer than you admit. The kind of tension that comes from always calculating, always adjusting, always asking yourself, can I afford this? Should I wait? What if something goes wrong again? That constant edge wears down even the strongest fire. And Spirit knows this. That's why what's unfolding now is not about sudden wealth, not about instant success, not about skipping steps. It's about comfort first. Real comfort, the kind that lets your shoulders drop. You may not feel rich yet, but you will feel stable. Bills get paid without panic. Money flows in and out without fear chasing it. There is enough left over for choice. Choice matters more than people realize. The ability to say yes to something you care about, or no to something that drains you, without that decision costing you your peace. This is the kind of balance that changes how you move through the world. Because Aries, when you are no longer in survival mode, your fire stops burning you from the inside. It becomes focused, intentional, creative. You stop reacting, and you start building. This phase is not flashy. It is grounding. It teaches you how to hold stability without feeling trapped by it, how to feel safe without feeling bored, how to rest without losing momentum. And that is a skill many never learn. You are learning it now. There may be moments where your mind tries to rush ahead, tries to skip this part, tries to convince you that comfort is settling. It's not. Comfort is fuel. It is the quiet foundation that allows your ambition to stretch further without collapse. Think of it like this. Fire burns brightest when it has steady air. Not chaos, not pressure, not constant wind. Steady air. That's what this season is giving you. A rhythm where you can breathe. Plan. Choose with clarity instead of urgency. And in that rhythm, something deeper begins to wake up. Not the part of you that fights for space, but the part of you that knows why you are here. Because when survival loosens its grip, purpose steps forward naturally. You don't have to chase it. You recognize it. It feels quieter than you expected. More grounded. More real. You may find yourself drawn to paths that once felt risky, but now feel right. Not because they promise more money, but because they align with who you are becoming. This is where your fire matures. Not smaller, wiser. And as you stand in this new steadiness, as your life stops revolving around stress and recovery, another truth begins to surface. You were never meant to just get by. You were meant to contribute, to lead, to create something that carries your signature. But that kind of work can only be born from stability. So let yourself receive this comfort. Not as an end goal, but as the ground beneath your next rise. Because when you are no longer busy surviving, you finally have the space to step fully into what you are here to do. And that moment, that recognition, is where the fire starts to shift again. All right, come a little closer with me. Because this is the moment where something inside you stops asking and starts deciding. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle resistance you've had lately toward living the way you're supposed to live. The way that keeps everyone else comfortable. The way that once made sense but now feels tight around your chest. This is not restlessness. This is not impatience. This is your fire remembering itself. Aries, there is a difference between rebellion and truth, finally speaking louder than fear. And what's rising in you right now is not chaos. It's clarity with heat. You are no longer interested in playing it safe just to be accepted. You're no longer willing to shrink your instincts to fit into rooms that never saw your full strength anyway. That doesn't make you reckless. It makes you honest. You may notice your tolerance dropping for empty conversations, for jobs that drain you without giving anything back, for paths that look stable on the outside but leave you disconnected on the inside. This is the part of you that says there has to be more than this. And there is. You might find yourself drawn toward ideas you once talked yourself out of, a business you dismissed as unrealistic, a direction change you delayed because it would disappoint someone who isn't living your life. Those thoughts didn't disappear. They waited. And now they're returning with weight, with persistence, with a sense of urgency that feels grounded, not frantic. That is how you know it's real. Spirit is not asking you to burn everything down. It's asking you to stop pretending that your desires are negotiable. The longing you feel is not random. It's not selfish. It's not a distraction. It's a compass. And Aries, you have always been built to move when the signal is clear. What's different now is that you're not rebelling against the world. You're aligning with yourself. That's a quieter kind of courage. But it's stronger. You may notice fear trying to dress itself up as logic, telling you to wait longer, to be more reasonable, to stay where it's predictable. Listen carefully. Fear speaks in circles. Truth speaks once and stays. And that truth inside you is not shouting. It's steady. You are not here to live half awake. You are not here to fulfill expectations that were never meant for you. You are here to build something that carries your name, your energy, your signature. This is where leadership begins, not with control, not with dominance, but with the willingness to choose your path even when it means walking alone for a while. That solitude is not punishment. It's refinement. It strips away the noise so you can hear your own direction clearly. And as you stand in this decision, this quiet commitment to yourself, something else starts to happen. You realize you are not as alone as you thought. Because when your intention aligns, support begins to move toward you. Not all at once, not dramatically, but steadily. And that is when you understand. This is not impulsive rebellion. This is not a reaction to pain. This is the awakening of someone who is ready to lead their life instead of negotiating with it. And as that realization settles in your body, as your fire sharpens instead of scattering, you may start to notice something unexpected. People, opportunities, moments of help, showing up right on time. And that is where the next layer of this journey begins to quietly reveal itself. All right, Aries, let me stay right beside you here. Because once you choose yourself, once that inner decision locks in, something subtle begins to rearrange around you. You might not notice it all at once. It does not announce itself. It moves quietly, almost respectfully. But you are not walking alone anymore. There is a presence guiding you now, not controlling you, not rushing you. Simply aligning things so you do not have to push so hard just to move forward. You may feel it in timing. A message that arrives exactly when you are about to give up. A person who crosses your path without effort. A door that opens where you expected resistance. These are not coincidences, they are responses. You have reached a point where your intention is clear enough for the universe to meet you halfway. Aries, this part of the journey requires something different from you. Not strength, not courage. You have plenty of that. It requires receptivity. And I know that can feel uncomfortable. You are used to being the one who carries the weight, the one who figures it out, the one who makes it happen. Receiving can feel like weakness when you have learned to survive by standing alone. But this is not about being rescued. It is about being supported. There is wisdom in allowing help to reach you, not because you cannot do it yourself, but because growth is not meant to be isolating. When someone offers assistance now, listen to how your body responds, not your pride, your body. If it softens, even slightly, that is your signal. Support does not diminish your power, it refines it. You may notice that the people entering your life now feel different from before. Less draining, less demanding, more aligned with who you are becoming. These connections are not here to distract you. They are here to walk alongside you as you build what comes next. And sometimes the guidance comes without a face. A sudden sense of calm about a decision. A feeling that you are being held even when you cannot explain how. That is higher power moving through your life without needing to be named. You are not being tested right now, you are being assisted. The path ahead is being cleared step by step so you can stay focused on where you are going instead of constantly watching your back. Aries, this does not mean everything will be easy. It means you will not have to carry everything alone. And there is a difference. Allowing support teaches you something important. That leadership does not mean isolation. That strength does not require exhaustion. That independence can coexist with connection. This is a more mature form of power. One that trusts the flow without surrendering direction. As you begin to accept what is offered without questioning your worthiness, you may feel a sense of relief settle in. Like the pressure to prove yourself is slowly dissolving. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything. You are being met. And as you let that truth land, as you stop resisting the hands reaching toward you, another layer of awareness gently comes into view. Because receiving support changes how you relate to everything else, including love, including space, including the boundaries you will soon need to honor. And that awareness, that soft recalibration inside you, is where the next part of this story begins to take shape. All right, stay with me a little longer. Because when guidance begins to surround you, it doesn't stop at opportunities and timing. It reaches into your emotional field as well. Quietly, gently, without asking for permission. You may have noticed a shift in how attention finds you lately. A look that lingers, a message that feels charged, someone circling your energy without fully stepping in. Or maybe you are the spark this time, the one who lights up a room without trying, the one whose presence wakes something up in others. There is attraction here, there is interest, there is heat, but there is also fluctuation, moments of closeness followed by distance, intensity, then silence, a rhythm that pulls you in and then asks you to wait. Aries, this is not confusion, it is calibration. Right now, your energy is expanding, and not everyone knows how to meet that steadily. Some people are drawn to your fire without understanding how to stand beside it. They move closer, then pull back. Not because of you, but because of what you awaken in them. This is where awareness matters. You are not meant to chase emotional clarity right now. You are meant to protect your space. Space is not rejection. It is discernment. You are learning how to stay open without overextending, how to feel connection without losing center, how to allow attraction without letting it redirect your focus. This is new territory for you. In the past, you may have given quickly, burned brightly, leapt before checking your footing. But something has shifted. You can feel when something feels off now. When energy drains instead of nourishes. When presence feels demanding instead of supportive. Honor that signal. You do not need to explain your boundaries. You do not need to justify your need for space. Your calm is not negotiable anymore. Spirit is not asking you to close your heart. It is asking you to pace it. Love doesn't need to be rushed to be real. And not everything that arrives with chemistry is meant to stay for the long journey. Some connections are mirrors, some are lessons, some are simply reminders that you are alive and magnetic again. And that is enough. This moment in your life is not about merging with someone else. It is about staying aligned with yourself as your world opens wider. If someone can meet you there with consistency, with respect, with patience, they will. If they cannot, you are not meant to convince them. You are not here to manage anyone else's uncertainty. You are here to build something larger than romance alone. Something that requires your full presence, your clarity, your strength. So let attraction come. Let interest flicker. Let connection reveal itself naturally. But do not grip it. You are not losing anything by letting things unfold slowly. You are gaining insight. And as you learn to hold space for yourself first, you may notice how your relationships begin to change. How the noise quiets, how the right energy feels easier to recognize. Because Aries, not everything that arrives at the same time is meant to be held with the same intensity. Some things are meant to pass through lightly, others are meant to wait. And knowing the difference is a kind of wisdom that only comes when you stop trying to control the outcome. As you release that grip, as you allow connection to breathe, something deeper begins to settle in. A readiness, a grounded confidence, a sense that you no longer need to force anything to feel secure. And that quiet strength, that steady presence inside you is exactly what will guide you through what comes next. All right? Stay right here with me. Because this is the moment everything you have walked through begins to make sense. Not all at once, not like a sudden flash, but like dawn, slow, certain, unmistakable. Aries, you have learned enough now, not from books, not from advice, but from experience that reshaped you. You have felt loss without losing yourself. You have stood in uncertainty without collapsing. You have questioned everything and still found your way back to your own center. That is not weakness. That is wisdom earned the hard way. And right now, as this year releases its final breath, you are not standing where you were before. You are clearer. Clear about what drains you. Clear about what nourishes you. Clear about the difference between movement and meaning. There is balance returning to your life, not the kind that freezes you, the kind that steadies you. Your energy is no longer scattered. It is focused, grounded, alive. You may notice a quiet confidence settling in, not loud, not performative, just present. A feeling that says, I know who I am again. I know what I will no longer carry. I know when something feels right. That feeling is your compass, and it is pointing forward. Aries, this is not about becoming someone new. It is about stepping fully into who you have already become. The door in front of you does not require force. It does not demand explanation. It does not test your worth. It opens because you are ready to walk through it as you are now, with clarity instead of urgency, with strength instead of armor, with trust instead of control. You are not being rushed into the future. You are being invited into it. So tonight, when the world counts down and noise fills the air, remember this: the real moment happens quietly. It happens when you choose to step forward without dragging the past behind you. It happens when you stop waiting for certainty and trust the steadiness inside your own body. It happens when you allow yourself to cross a threshold without needing to see every step ahead. This is that moment. Do not just wish for a new year. Do not just hope for change. Aries, step into it. Let your next chapter begin, not from reaction, but from alignment. If something in you feels settled hearing this, if your breath feels deeper, if your chest feels lighter, that is your confirmation. And I would love to hear it. Leave a comment. Share what this moment feels like for you. Say what you are ready to walk toward. Not because you owe anyone an explanation, but because naming it anchors it. And remember this: the journey does not end here. It does not close neatly. It opens, quietly, steadily, with intention. You are not at the finish line. You are at the doorway. And everything ahead of you is responding to the version of you standing here now. Aries, before you go anywhere, let me leave you with this. If your heart feels quieter than it did a few minutes ago, if something inside you feels seen instead of pushed, that is not imagination. That is alignment. Because the truth is, this message did not come to motivate you. It came to remind you. You were never broken. You were never late. You were never meant to stay where you outgrew yourself. This door opening now is not a reward. It is recognition. Recognition of every time you stood up when no one clapped. Every time you kept going when clarity was nowhere to be found. Every time you trusted yourself, even while doubting everything else. And here you are, still standing, still listening, still willing to feel. That alone tells me something important about you. Aries, The fire in you was never meant to burn you out. It was meant to light the way. For you, and eventually for others who will follow your courage. So tonight, or whenever you are hearing this, do not rush back into noise. Do not second-guess what resonated. Let it settle. If something in this message spoke directly to you, leave a comment. Not for me. For yourself? Name the shift you feel. Claim the step you are ready to take. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Not because you need more answers, but because this journey is still unfolding, and the next message will meet you exactly where you are meant to be. Most of all, Aries, trust yourself. You are not walking into the unknown blindly. You are walking into it prepared. The door is open. The path is forming. And this was only the beginning. The journey continues. And I'll be right here when the next chapter speaks.